This is Tate with Train to Win. It's been a while since we posted some content, but we're hopping back on the train to pump some videos out for you guys. In this video, as you guys can tell by the title, we're going to go over the fundamentals of running mechanics. In this video, you're going to learn the basis of how to actually run and efficiently run before you program any form of sprint training itself. Sometimes the basics reign king when it comes to performance overall as an athlete. So we're going to go over the foundational layer on how to exactly run. And I know how that sounds. It sounds goofy, but trust me, if you pay attention to what I have to teach you today, we can take seconds down on your speed itself. So what we're going to get into today, our main focus is going to be what we call wall drills. With our wall drills, it's going to help get ingrained within our CNS, our central nervous system, the patterns that we have to continuously go through every time we take a stride forward with our running or sprinting itself. So all you need for these is literally a wall and some good shoes and your body. So with this, we're going to start a distance from the wall about a foot away from my hands here to where I can't quite touch the wall when I reach out. Now I'm going to get up onto my toes and fall straight forward. Notice my arm position is straight in front of me. I don't have my arms up overhead. I don't have my arms way down below. Straight in front of me in my eye view, locking those elbows. This is our starting position. My heels remain off of the ground for this portion of the drill. Now what we're going to learn is a positional hold. With our positional hold, we're going to drive our leg up and maintain this position. This is the same position as if we just finished a big stride in our running itself. So my back leg is locked, I'm up on the ball of my foot, and then with this foot that I'm raising up, my right leg, I'm driving it to where I am at maximum punching power to stride myself or propel myself forward. So if I have my foot way up here and I try to stride back, my foot's going to land right in front of me. So I need to angle my knee to where when I punch my hip, my foot lands almost in line with the other one. Reason for this, if the foot is in front of us when we strike, we're slowing ourselves down. If our foot is behind us when we strike, we're not getting as maximum punch through our hip. So ideally, when the foot meets with the other foot, we're able to propel ourselves forward. So first movement of this drill is a positional hold. Again, with this, we practice some iso holds. Ingrain this position into your nervous system. You can hold 30, 45 seconds, about 3 rounds on both sides. With these, you should feel a good burn in the calf, feel a good burn in those legs. It's going to hurt after you do it for a continuous amount of time. Then, once we have the positional hold dialed in, our position is on point, we can progress it into the next movement that we call pistons. With our pistons, we practice our striking and mastering where our foot placement is when we strike. So, same thing, starting point, positional hold. Rising it up with a piston to slow the movement down. What I'm going to do is punch through my hip, tap the toe onto the ground, punch it right back up into position, just like so. So full speed, the way this is gonna look is you punch and drive, punch and drive. Notice, this left knee stays locked the entire time and I'm on that foot the entire time. When I punch, my feet match and I skyrocket right back up into the positional hold. Again, with these guys, you can run as many rounds as you'd like. You can go about 10 repetitions per side. Then, once you have that mastered, you can move on to our next drill. Next drill is going to be called swipes. The swipes themselves are going to help bring some awareness within the legs themselves and also drive that overall propel motion within the hip itself. So, with our swipes, same thing, starting positional hold. To slow the motion down, you extend the leg, glide the foot along the ground, whip the foot back, and snap right back into position. So all together, the way this is going to look is boom, boom. That's our swipe. Again, same thing, about 10 reps per side, as many rounds as you'd like or you feel is necessary to master the movement. Then you can get into the next movement. The next movement works best if you have a coach or a partner. If you don't, you can do these on your own. These next ones are going to be called load lift. This one has 2 different motions that we go into. Again, this movement starts in the positional hold, into the wall, positional hold. Now, if you have your partner calling things out or your coach, or you call it out for yourself, we have a load position. With the load position, I'm gonna bend my left knee, dropping myself down to the ground, punching my head through the arms, and extending this toe back. Notice, all of my weight is in the left leg, and this back foot is fully extended, toe floating just above the ground. What I don't wanna see is any of this, or any of this, not getting lazy with it, putting a ton of pressure and forward knee flexion into this leg on the ground here. Now, when your partner calls lift, or you call out lift for yourself, we are gonna drive, extend this leg, and punch our knee into the positional hold. So, all together, load, lift. Those are our load lifts. Again, same concept. Run these about 10 reps per side, as many rounds as you feel you need to master the movement. Next, we can get into some transitions. These work best with partners or a coach, but again, if you don't have anyone to help, just run through them yourself. So, with these guys, we call them our transitions. We have 1s, 2s, and 3s when it comes to our transitions themselves. So, with these guys, now that we have the basics pretty mastered, we can work on transitioning from right to left leg. Again, positional hold. If your partner calls 1, what you're gonna do is punch this leg and pop the other right back into a positional hold. With these guys, anytime we're transitioning, we do not ever wanna see a transition before the leg that's punching to the ground is on the ground. So what I mean by that is any of these. I transition the hips in the air. I cannot punch my hip up until the other foot is in contact with the ground, just the same as if you're running. If you transition in the middle of the air, there's a brief period where you're not accelerating and you're slowing down. So 1 foot always has to be in contact with the ground to keep the acceleration going. So 1s, 1, boom, 2s, 1, 2, full speed, 1, 2, 3s, 1, 2, 3, full speed, 1, 2, 3. Those are our intervals there. Same thing, making sure the feet match in line at the bottom and snap once the other foot gets down to the ground. That's gonna be the basis of the lower half for our running mechanics. Now we're gonna get into the upper half. When it comes to mastering the upper body for any form of running mechanics, it depends on the athlete and the sport that you're doing and whether it's super important or not. So for a lot of you football players, soccer players, baseball players, volleyball players, this is not as critical because when you're on the field, your arms are all over the place. You're holding a football, you're trying to dodge an opponent. You don't have any form of linear destination you're trying to go. So for you track athletes, this is a little more important, and we'll get into a deeper dive video for you individuals later in the future. But for the sake of this video, we're just gonna get down to some of our basics. With the basics of our arms, biggest thing that we look for is what we call cheek to cheek. So we take our thumbs, we have one thumb to our butt cheek and one thumb to our face cheek. And when we're pumping our arms, we're alternating back and forth from cheek to cheek, keeping about a 90-degree bend in the arms. And of course, when we're doing these, we're transitioning back and forth. We have tons of different marching drills that we do within dynamic warm-ups and things like that to prep for some of our running work, but that's a different video for a different time. What we're gonna get into now is just a basic drill that you can do to help get the arm pattern down if this is something that you're struggling with, or if you film video of yourself running and you realize your arms are all over the place and you're not able to methodically pump from cheek to cheek. So one thing that we work on with our athletes, again, this works best if you have a partner or a coach helping you out. We sit on the ground to get rid of the factor of thinking about our legs and hips, because a lot of individuals get too deep in their head when it comes to transitioning our legs back and forth. So with this drill, we get ourselves into position. One thumb to the cheek, one thumb to the other cheek, and from here, your partner or coach, or even for yourself, if you're doing this alone, you can call out switch, and when you do switch, switch, cheek to cheek, switch, cheek to cheek, switch, cheek to cheek. Then your coach or partner randomly can call out rapid fire or all out or whatever word you describe to go pump, pump, pump as fast as you can. And what this looks like, it looks super goofy, but with these guys, you're pumping back and forth, cheek to cheek, to where your hands are pumping methodically back and forth without going same time or without having some sloppy transitions where you're cutting yourself short. It's a simple drill to really help get your arm mechanics down for running more efficiently. So when it comes to running mechanics, there is some more advanced stuff that we can get into. And those are going to be some future videos that we pump out on this channel. This was, again, a basis foundation of what you must master in order to become a better runner or sprinter overall, whether you're a football player, soccer player, or a trackster. This is the basis of programming that we put in as a foundation layer for all of our youth athletes and even some of our older athletes as well. So again, this has been Tate with Train to Win. I hope this video helps you learn something new and go out, practice these drills, see if you're good at them, film them, compare them to me in these clips, and we'll catch you in the next video.